Welcome to Daddy Bits, your trade idea show hosted by yours truly, the Trading Daddies. I am your host, the Master Crayon Eater, and as always, my amazing co-host.
What's going on? I'm the tired one.
The tired one. Bro, how's your weekend? It's been a good 48 hours. I'm happy that tomorrow is Monday.
Oh, for the folks who are viewing this right now, we did record an amazing episode last night with all these other dads. Yeah, it was fun.
So much fun.
It was fun. I liked it.
I do too. Right? Would you do anything on the weekend?
Cleaned up, mowed the lawn. I feel like mowing the lawn is like an all day thing.
Like, in reality,
have like an
but
acre.
Also you have an entire farm.
I know.
Like the entire Western Plains is in your backyard. So is it still smoky up there?
It is. It's actually overcast, and then the air quality right now it's moderate. I think it's at 120. I don't even know what that scale is. It's 110, 120. If it gets to like 150, that means it's bad. And
oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah. We have a great, interesting earnings week this week. Growth stocks are reporting, so a lot of your favorite names that aren't big blue chip, essentially. Palantir. To me, Palantir's a blue chip stock.
Neo.
Whatever anybody says. Neo's reporting. Nicola's reporting? No, Nicola reported last week, right? We have AMC reporting. We have Sofi reporting. A whole bunch of different plays. But before we get to that, make sure that you guys hit up our friends over at Bust Down Academy, bustdowninvestments.com. If you don't know what a Bollinger Band is, you will be missing out on a lot of bands. So make sure that you guys hit up our friends over at Bust Down Academy, bustdowninvestments.com, right? And hit the subscribe button, hit that post notification bell, give us a nice preemptive thumbs up, because if you are the person that gave us some thumbs down, John, tell them who they are.
Yo mama from the streets.
From the streets! If you want us to cover any stocks, drop them down in the comment section down below, and we'll get to it after this intro. What up, fam? Let's talk about some member gains on Friday. I do have that queued up currently. Big shout out to Alvin. Actually, Alvin was on yesterday's podcast. He hit us with a $600 snap trade out of nowhere. Nobody told us anything, and
he's doing his own plays now.
What a ninja! What an absolute ninja! He came out the cuts too, like, all right, snap. I'm like, where? Right? Shout out to Andrew, right? 249 off of SQ, right? Alvin again. Actually, I called this trade out over on the voice chat in the morning. Some Moderna shorts, and he capitalized on that gain. So Alvin had a $1,000 day. We have Curtis Chill Flores 550 over SQ calls. He kept on rebuying. Good for him. We have Jay, the captain of the ship himself, $3,000 for the week. What a great week! What a great week! We have D. It's not much, but it's honest work. We're the honest work boys out here. 120. Right, I managed to squeeze out 120 on Facebook, and then 340 on the Moderna puts. We still have still Hyphy, the homie, 2,800% on Wells Fargo calls. That is some savagery right there.
Even possible.
You know what? If you have
off of Wells Fargo, it's not even like AMC. Speaking of AMC.
We'll talk about AMC in a bit. Let's take a look at the stocks that we want to cover first and foremost. Again, before we get into these this is not financial advice. These are stocks that John and I get to look at when we're trying to find value in certain plays. And the first one on the list, and if you guys are following our trades, make sure that you guys manage your risk accordingly. If you guys win, give us a nice shout out. If you guys lose, it's not like we didn't warn you. The first one on the list is a review of last week's trade, which is SoFi. Full disclosure, I am in SoFi calls. Let me take a look at my current position for SoFi.
What strike did you get?
Finding out for your right meow, my guy. I went out the money this time because I feel that I wanted to capitalize on the gamma squeeze if there is any. So currently I have the $20 calls for September 10th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, plenty of time. Okay.
I have plenty of time. And especially with the way that SoFi has been trading lately, we're in this nice little channel right here. If we're gonna take a look
looks good.
This looks good, dude.
Yeah.
This looks good. We saw a little bit of red day on Thursday, but we bounced back.
Yeah, but that was at support. It bounced off of support.
It bounced off of support, and we kind of stayed above support, above this EMA 9. And notice right here that the EMA 9 is closely inching towards the EMA 20. And we're at the top of the Bollinger Band on the daily, so we might see a little bit of a bounce over here, and hopefully something fruitful happens. After hours trading on Friday, we saw a 10-cent move to the upside. That's where it kind of ended up on Friday. So a little bit of a bullish sentiment for the after hours traders.
What's the short interest again? I think someone 18? In the someone in the chat room was asking, how do you know, or what stocks are being shorted right now? And explain what short interest is again.
So short interest is a metric that we as retail traders take a look at, because if a stock is heavily shorted, so that means that the whole investing community as a whole decide to borrow shares to short the stock because they ultimately want the stock to go lower. Two trains of thought, right? Two trains of thought. With nice hat, by the way. If you guys aren't privy on this hat, tradingdaddies.com, you'll get to some hats over there. I just dropped the what's that hat called?
Citadel?
No, well, the Citadel hat's on there too. I also dropped just a recent one too. Oh, the anti-trading trading club hat is also live on the website. So when you want to short a stock, you don't just take the stock and you short it. There's no way for you to do that. So you have to ask your market maker to let you borrow some shares. So you borrow some shares, and then now you could short the stock in the way that you would normally do it. So you sell to close essentially, right? Sell to open or something like that, right? Sell to open. I only know puts. I only know options, John.
Sell to open. Sell to open is shorting. Yeah.
Yeah. So you sell to open, and then ultimately you want the stock to go down lower. So the idea there is you want the stock to get to a point where you're willing to buy, right? So you could buy at a low price and then sell at a higher price because you feel like the stock's gonna move. So that right there, the move from, let's say, $1, right, from like $10 to $1 and then back all the way to 20, that's what we call a short squeeze. And as retail traders, we love short squeezes because it's pretty fast and easy money. Now, the way you determine when the next short squeeze is, you don't. There's no way for you to do that.
It's hard to time it.
It's hard to time it. So what we look for is stocks that have a high short interest, meaning that a lot of these retail investors, also institutional traders, are borrowing the stock to short and ultimately driving down the price. Because fundamentally it doesn't make sense in the case of AMC or GME back then. GME wasn't doing any business. AMC wasn't doing any business. So you can make some money on the downside and wait for the reopening to happen, right? So when it kind of reopened, that's when the stock kind of rocketed up. What we're seeing here is SoFi is it's not a bad company. SoFi is a very solid company. It is just targeted because it was once a SPAC, in my opinion. Yep. Papa Poly SPAC, right? A lot of growth stocks have been tested, I would say, because the big hedge funds think that we're just dumb investors and we're just throwing money at stocks and we don't know what the hell we're doing. But they're slowly realizing that we know what we're doing, right? And when you're shorting a stock, it could only borrow so many shares before you ultimately have to cover, right? So you have to cover at some point. But in the case of SoFi, the chart looks really good. So I decided to hop in this trade and give myself enough time before it ultimately goes back up, right? I'm not asking for it to hit $300. That's ludicrous. I'm just asking for it to hit maybe like 500,000.
You need to calm down with these price points, man.
No, in reality, I just want SoFi to hit 30. SoFi at 30 is a comfortable exit for me.
Yeah, give it like maybe 2 months.
Yeah,
That it is possible, highly possible.
It's possible, highly possible, because we've seen the melt up on AMC from 8 to 77, and that was like a span of 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So give this some time. I'm super excited for SoFi. More to this later. Any thoughts on SoFi, John?
I like it. I like how it bounced off at a 9, broke the 20. And if you don't know what we're talking about over here, bustdowninvestments.com.
Bust down, yeah.
Your nearest target right now is 1725. So
you know what I mean? Like if you
yeah,
don't know
your first target.
If you don't know an EMA, you look at your trade and go, hey. Make sure that you guys hit up our friends over at bustdowninvestments.com. The next stock that we want to cover is AMC. John says AMC is looking mighty nice. From the resident AMC bear himself, John, why?
Why is that? Is because look at what happened Friday. It's inching towards the EMA 9. You see how the MACD is somewhat curling to the upside. Your RSI is somewhat low. Yes, it's not oversold, but really it's at 40 right now. We're looking at the daily chart right here. So it's at 3270. The first level of resistance is at 3460-ish. Yeah, 68. So that's your first target right there. That's at what, 9%? I think about 9%. So keep an eye on that level right there. If it does break with huge volume, then I think there's a good chance that we might swing this one. So swing it all the way to 37 at least. So keep an eye on this one.
I see some good potential. Earnings is tomorrow, so after hours. Earnings is tomorrow after hours, so I'm not playing this until I'll probably take a day trade on it tomorrow morning, depending on where I see it. A couple of warning signs, however, John, a couple of warning signs that I want people to know is look at this EMA 20 that just crossed below the 50. Right here.
The 20 crossing the 50, I mean, yes, that is a bearish signal. But again, bear in mind, what you need to follow is price action here. Just use your EMAs as targets. But yeah, that 20 crossing the 50, yes, it's a little bearish. So just keep an eye on this one. If it breaks 3460 something, then you have a chance. You have the chance to turn this around. So
yeah, you really do have a chance. So let's watch it for tomorrow and play the reaction to earnings. Let's take a look at the next stock, and it's actually an ETF, the QQQ. I like the QQQs, John.
Why do you like QQQs?
I like QQQs because you can trade them 0 DTE from time to time. We did see all-time highs for the Qs on Friday at 369.91. What happens when there's all-time highs? Dip down below because people are just taking profits off the top, and that's normal. We did get a doji, a semi-doji in my opinion, and it bounced off of support. This is very particularly strong. Tomorrow, I will not play this until I find real direction. As John always says, a doji is a potential
trend reversal.
Trend reversal, right? It can go to the upside, it can go to the downside, but how are you going to know, or how are you going to play that depending on what it actually does tomorrow? If it goes down, then that's your direction. If it goes up, then that's your direction, right? If we take a look at Disney, for example, I just want to use Disney as an example here. Notice that this doji gave us like an abandoned baby or a Morningstar doji.
Baby. I like that. I like that. I like that doji. Abandoned baby.
An abandoned baby doji, and then it rocketed up, right? And we're still trading in this channel right here for Disney. Earnings is on this week.
For Disney?
Oh, the 12th, dude. Yeah, it is this week.
Yeah.
Earnings is on the 12th. We might see a little bit more. Look at this MACD. It's about to touch over. I will wait until it actually touches to the upside before hopping in this because you might see a chop fest. But for the Qs, as far as I did a Disney analysis, I didn't want to do that, but let's just take a look at the QQQ here. Let's wait for direction before we ultimately join the fray. This MACD is like lying in wait down below, and at this point, you don't know what direction it's going to go. But I would definitely keep this on watch, and we'll keep you guys updated to see what we did on this trade. John, anything about the Qs?
Yeah, for the Qs, what you got to follow is check out where futures are right now. So if that's, I think currently NASDAQ it's about minus 0.5, I believe. So we might open at, the EMA 20. So just keep an eye on that one. If we do open at 363, just make sure you set your stop losses early because the next flush down is around 350-ish, 54. Keep that in mind. So
we have a lot of room down here. We might see
if you're trading it, but if you're swing trading, stocks, I mean, you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna hit all-time highs again.
I know, but ultimately, this is the case, right? A couple months ago, back in June, we saw all-time highs.
Yeah.
And what happens when you see all-time highs? It flushes down for a correction.
It pulls back,
and then it goes back up, and then there's another correction. Then it goes back up. So the cycle it just keeps going for all of us, and you just have to be prepared, and you have to look at it from a macro point of view. So you have to zoom out and see where the overall trend is first in order for you to make an educated guess. Make a decision on this trade. And I think that if we see a flush tomorrow, that could signal a potential short-term sell-off and before going all the way back up. And growth stocks are a little bit iffy because if growth stocks are reporting, depending on the reaction of the overall market, we might see a little bit more pressure for the QQQs. You know what I mean?
Would you trade the Qs this week?
I'll trade the Qs depending on momentum.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll scalp it.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not, I wouldn't like swing trade the Qs. I would definitely not hold on. I would get it and get out for a small gains. It's nice small gains. But that's pretty much it for us today. John, any final words, last trades before we get ready for the week ahead?
I did add a little disclaimer. I did add some more pounds here. DraftKings was nice Friday. Thank you. But, it didn't really hold pre-market levels. That sucks. But, we're still, I don't want to say we're out of the woods for DraftKings, but I am liking the chart all the way back to, like in the 50s. But, 55-ish. That's what my first target is. But I'm going to continue to add on to that because, we're all degenerates.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Dolphinately. And if you haven't watched the episode for the 1 year anniversary, make sure you guys watch that. That was some very fun, very interesting conversation. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And that is pretty much it. Again, if you guys aren't yet, make sure that you guys hit up our friends over at Bust Down Investments, bustdowninvestments.com. If you want to learn how to trade, become a new trader, or you're a seasoned trader looking for a new community, we'll welcome you home. Let's get to it at bustdowninvestments.com. Follow us on all social media. Follow me at Trading Poppy. Follow John at John C Trades, Trading Daddies for the both of us. And make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, post notification bell, give us a nice thumbs up because, John, if they did not give us a thumbs up and they gave us a thumbs down.
Your mama from the streets.
Your mama's from the streets. Comment down in the section below the stocks you guys want us to cover for Daddy Bits. And with that being said, let's get trading. And remember, guys, that the charts, they don't lie.